Hey, what's going on, fellow money lovers? Let's just get right into it. I think everybody likes the presidential $1 coin program. Well, then again, a few years ago, people really talked a lot of crap about it. But in recent years, it's really become popular. It's one of my most popular videos on my channel. So let's jump into each year, and I'll have a few videos that cover each year of the presidential dollars. You can pick them up regularly at the bank. Not so much in like pocket change, but you can find them at the bank pretty regularly. And then I guess they get there from people's whatever. Let's just get right into it with the first one, which is the 2007 George Washington presidential dollar. So this one started off the series. They say a bunch of stuff. The U.S. Mint's website's really corny about it, like, we embarked on this ambitious journey to honor the presidents. It's a cool program. I think they could have done a lot more with the designs. But basically, it aims to commemorate each president by featuring their likeness on a dollar coin. So it ran primarily from 2007 to 2016, and then George Bush was added in 2020, I believe, when he died in 2018 or after he died. So the first one's the 2007 George Washington presidential dollar. There were 176.6 million of these made out of Philadelphia, and 163 million out of Denver. They do feature edge lettering like all the other presidential dollars that would come after it, but there are known errors on these George Washington presidential dollars, which make them one of the most valuable in the series, not just because of the errors, but because it has it's the start of the series. The error that I am talking about is the missing edge lettering error, and it's a significant number of these coins that were released without the edge inscriptions, which would normally be E Pluribus Unum, In God We Trust, the year, and the mint mark. So this has basically led to a name for these dollars called the Godless dollars, because it doesn't have the In God We Trust name. But if you know anything in numismatics, they always have some weird quippy name for it. Estimates suggest that there's really around 50 to 100,000 of these out there, but they're not sure of the exact number, and it was first discovered quite a while ago, really shortly after their release, and one of the first sales for it was over $600, but that one was in really good condition, with subsequent sales being around the $200 to $400 mark, but there are quite a few of them out there in lower condition, missing the edge lettering, that are worth around $40, $50. The second coin that was released in 2007 was the John Adams presidential dollar. This second coin really was popular, but it had a lot less of them minted, with around 100 million of them minted out of both the mints in Philadelphia and Denver. Now, the important thing about the John Adams presidential dollar is that there's two different errors. One that's the same as the previous one, has missing edge lettering, where they were released without any edge inscriptions. These are much rarer than the Washington errors because there's less of them known, and they usually fetch higher prices. The other one that's going to have actually more value to it is the double edge lettering, and it's basically like a double die, but on the rim of the coin, or edge of the coin rather. And this is from the coin passing through the edge lettering machine twice. So this was really common in Philadelphia as opposed to Denver, and these coins can sell for hundreds of dollars in really good condition. The third coin is the Thomas Jefferson presidential dollar in 2007. Now, there's even less of these made, and you'll see that be kind of a norm for this year as we go through the coins. So these had a smaller mintage even than the previously mentioned John Adams coins, with a little over 100 million. Philadelphia had 100,800,000 of the coins made out of that mint. Denver had 102.8 million, so a little more. And they also can have missing edge lettering to them, but these are less common than the other ones I mentioned, as they started to really crack down on this error at this point. So when you do see these go up for auction in really, really good grades, they can reach almost close to the $1,000 mark in some cases. The last one for 2007, and kind of rounding out the series for that year, is the James Madison presidential dollar. And this one kind of honors who we coin as the father of the Constitution, and weirdly enough, it has the lowest mintage, even though it's honoring the father of the Constitution, with 84.5 million out of Philadelphia and 87.7 out of Denver. So they made just a slight amount more out of Denver. Now, the really important part about these is not only the low mintage, but the error on these is a reverse struck-through error. That's something you're not going to see very commonly. Some coins exhibit areas on the reverse of these presidential dollars where the design is missing or is really faint due to debris on the dies during striking. So it's really just negligence on the part of the U.S. Mint workers, but it created a really good error. And Great Collections auctioned one of these back in 2019 or 2020 at MS68, so a really high grade, and I believe that coin drew a couple $1,000s. So, in conclusion, I mean, the presidential $1 series is really cool. I've always liked it. After the obverse and reverse designs were struck, the coins would undergo this separate edge lettering process to inscribe the parts on it, which I think is cool. It's a little different on how they do that in comparison to other kind of similar functions with coins. And the missing edge lettering, double edge lettering, and even some with upside down lettering have been known to come out. Now, the upside down lettering error is seen in later years, and I'll talk about that in other videos. But all these things add to the hype of them and kind of a good market for them now. The initial hype with the godless dollars from George Washington really helped the series start off, and then it kind of stagnated. But even though the market has stabilized a bit, I think collectors are really interested in these still. Let me know what you think about 2007 presidential dollars. Keep an eye out for the next years of presidential dollars and videos. I'll cover each one of them and errors you can look for and some values. And of course, check out my other videos on my channel and across other social media. But most importantly, thanks for coming to the video. Hit subscribe and let me know in the comments what you're searching for in your collectible searches lately. So not just currency, but precious metals, vinyls, comics, toys, whatever it is you're into, I'm into. This world's a better place with you being a part of it. So have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you in the next video.